Once again, welcome to the Brown Spade Podcast Show. Today, we're gonna have a subject talking about why do men fail in relationships? So, Lee, you want to go ahead and start this one off?
Yeah. I will say that a lot of men fail in relationships because they don't know their purpose in a relationship. They don't know their purpose in life, I would say. Um, for one of the things that that a man brings to a relationship is discipline. Those one of the things that the man brings to the relationship. And leadership is another. Um, Logic, which how the man thinks, and protection as well. And a lot of times, men, like for example, I just use me. My first marriage, I thought that my purpose was to provide financially. I did all the other things as far as protection and in leading and everything in my first marriage. But I got away from that. I got away from my purpose, and I started you know um, doing things that logically made sense. I started doing things that well, maybe this will make the other person feel good, or maybe will make the world feel like like this is what I should be doing. But that wasn't my purpose. That was my purpose. And I think a lot of men, they don't know their purpose in life, in a relationship. They go off of feelings, and they go off of what they think they should be doing. They instead of them walking in a purpose and leading their household, and giving direction. And yeah, finance, you definitely got to have finance to to basically you know have a stable household. But it's more than just finance, and all the other things play an important role in relationship. But we get away from that. We don't walk in our purpose when it comes to relationships.
Okay,
That's one of the things.
that was more than one, but okay.
Yeah, that was several. That was everything.
No, yeah, several things. I think. Well, first of all, I think men fail in relationship. White, Jeremy White. Thank you again for your support. Jeremy White say men only fail in Western and only Western relationships. The West is designed for a man to fail. That's his comment.
What did he say? I didn't hear what he said. What he said?
Men only fail in Western relationships. The West is designed for men to fail. But hold on, before you respond, I got to get my comment in. Then he responded again. I'm just giving him a shout out because he's supporting us a lot. He said the only reason why men fail is because the West tried to make a man suppress his manly nature. I agree with that.
I agree with that.
Naturally, men are designed to have multiple women, and the West make men deny being just that. I agree with you with that too, and we're gonna have a show on that too. So just stay tuned. We're gonna have a show on that one, but we ain't got to that yet, Brother White. So yeah, so stay tuned for that one. But I think that it's numerous of reasons why men fail. One of the reasons why men fail because I think that when I'm talking about Western men, because we are designed to attract with what we see, and sometimes we get too blinded by what we see versus the inner person, and we get caught in the exterior of a woman versus the inner part of a woman. I think that's how a lot of men make bad choices when it comes to relationship off the rip, because oh man, she fine and she got a fat ass or whatever. She looked like this, and all she have sex like this and she have sex like that. And I think that's a problem because we get caught up in the superficial part of the relationship. I I think that a lot of us men, because we grew up, a lot of us grew up and didn't have fathers. For the ones who didn't have fathers, you didn't have that to go to get an idea of what a relationship consists of. You know, if you grew up in a relationship with just your mother, I mean, your single parent household, you really don't. You know, you want a family. You know, you want to be in a relationship because it's in your nature as a man, but you haven't saw it being fully played out because the absence of the man that was in the home. I think that's one. That's another one. But and I will say, I will go as far as to say finances as well, because finances will cause problems in a relationship, especially in a Western relationship, because we live in a capitalist society where everything is predicated on expenses. Everything is expensive. So not to mention we're in inflation right now. So, you know, I think that's another factor as well. So go ahead, brother. What you about to say?
No, I agree. I agree. And I think whether you know, you in here in America, or, you know, over in Africa, like, men, we're designed to be leaders. We're designed to take control of our household. We fall back from that because we think that with our mate or woman that, you know, because I give an example. As far as like, if this what you follow the Bible, the story of Adam and Eve, and I remember when I first heard the story of Adam and Eve, just man was here, woman came to be a helpmate. Then the decision of woman decided to go against with God, you know, rules and regulations that was put into play. It wasn't until man decided to go against what rules that was in play, you know, because logically he's supposed to think and say, okay, these are the rules that's set in play, so I have to follow what rules are set in play. But no, he went against logically the best decision, and he went with how the woman felt. And I think a lot of times that plays in a relationship to where we, as a man, we have to think logic all the time. All the time. And I had got to the point where I wasn't thinking logically, you know, in previous relationships, and it always turned bad for me because
because a lot of times as men we try to satisfy their every emotion.
Yeah.
You cannot do that.
No.
You cannot do it. It's impossible. No, not that you can't. You literally cannot do it. It's impossible because they are, you know, at times they can be emotional roller coasters.
And that's the thing. You have to walk in your purpose. And once I got to the point where I understood my purpose, you know, I had to go through basically rebuilding my thought process, because I started off like that. You know, I started off to where, you know, logically it had to make sense in order for me to make a move for my family and my household. But I got away from that in my previous relationships, and I got the bad end of the stick. But to go, you know, this is my second marriage. I understand my purpose. I understand what I should be doing, because if I go out here doing things off of feelings, I'm going to get my feelings hurt. I mean, that's just the way it goes. So logically, a man, you have to think. You have to think, is this the logic? Is this the best decision that I'm making for my family? Not how I feel, but is this the best decision I'm making? We got to look at down the road how it will affect our life. We just have to, you know.
I think also it's even if you're not a religious person, if you're not even coming from biblical text, so to speak, I just think because at the end of the day we're still mammals, and if you look at any other mammals and how they move and their nature and their raw form, the male always have led. So I think sometimes when we get out of that, I think a lot of times too, because of the society that we live in, I think we too busy talking about. I hear this term now where people are always talking about what's that term they use? We're a team. We're a team, or we're mates, or something like they're equal, like they're equivalent.
Partners?
Huh?
Partners?
Yeah, I need me a partner. Yeah, I've heard the
Companion?
word. Huh?
Companion?
No, they say partners. I think it is partners. I need me a partner, whatever. But I mean, but it almost sounds like they're freaking roommates. You know what I'm saying? The way they use it in context, and it's just crazy. So it's like, yeah, partnership. That's it. Appreciate it, White. Yeah. So yeah, I'm looking for a partnership or whatever. And it's almost like, it's almost like a roommate thing where everybody they just they have a sexual relationship, and everything else as far as bills and stuff split down the middle.
well, I look at it like this: when they talking about partnership, if me and you are partners, and let's say we going down the street, and a group of men approach us ready to fight, are we gonna fight together, or are you gonna jump behind me and expect me to protect you?
Because but again, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, because that's the way some partnerships. Well, that's the way.
Yeah, but that's not how it's supposed to be.
No, that's not. That's not, because we are supposed to protect. We supposed to lead. Right. I mean, that's just the way it goes. And I'm not saying that. Of course, the woman was put here, to help us, with our, with us running our household and everything. But at the end of the day, the man has, he has to have the say, because we think logically. We don't. Most men. I'm not saying all. When I say things, I'm speaking on most men. Most men think logically, and we can't go off of feelings. We just can't. When we go off of feelings, you open to get your feelings hurt. That's just the way it goes for men.
Right.
We have to stand up and take leadership role, because the thing is, Daniel, women want a leader. They will follow. I hear men so much say that, oh man, she act like she didn't, want to follow my lead or whatever. But I've never had a problem to where, just me speaking personally, I've never had a problem with not leading. I just never, because that's in me. And once you understand that that's in you, you continue to do that. Now, I did get away from that, in previous relationship. And like I said, I got my feelings hurt, but you have to lead. And guess what? The right woman will follow, but you have to lead. You can't go out here and just think a woman is just gonna follow you, and you don't have, no direction or which way you want to go. No, you gotta have a direction of which way you want to go, and you gotta lead by example. You can't.
Excuse me, Brother White said also the West, there's a financial advantage for women to sabotage the relationship. Absolutely. So in the West, there are many obstacles for a man to succeed in a relationship, and he quote marriage as well. I agree with you again, White. That's by design too, and that's what I was telling. I had talking to this lady the other day, and she got quiet on me. But again, for some reason, I know this show is about men. I'm just gonna say this, and I'm gonna get back on track. They don't want to accept the fact. They keep talking about they don't have help, and I'm not trying to. This show is not about women. They got all the help. I said, if you look up under that bridge and see who's homeless, you'll see who don't get the help. That's the one who don't get the help. You go up under any major city and you see those homeless people. Are they men or women? Most of them are men. Mm-hmm. But anyway, but right, White, you're absolutely right, brother. That's by design. It's designed because
I agree.
They make the society, not the society we live in, they make more money when we split up. Because if we split up, now I have to finance this place and she has to finance that place, and that's two places. But if we live together, that was one place. So so now everybody is single, and it creates more revenue for whether it's a home or apartments or what have you. It just separates that. So now everybody pushing. And then again, it's also helped break down the home as well, which all of it correlates with each other, because now she got to go harder because she don't have her significant other there, which is the male, and he got to go harder because for the same reason, and now the kid left behind. So that's which is a whole nother chapter. You know what I mean? So it's crazy.
And for these young men, y'all gotta get out here and y'all gotta build up your resume, man. When I say that, meaning you gotta get work ethics. You know, you gotta build up work ethics. You can't all these trying to real quick come up with a rap ideal or a get rich scheme. Look, man, that it's a small percentage of people that are able to do that. You got to get your resume up and build and pretty much build work ethics, because especially in our neighborhood, I mean, in our community, you have to. And the best thing, let me tell you something, young men, fellas, get a trade, man. You need to have one trade, if not two. Yeah. All this, yeah. You know, like I said, going out here to be a rapper, because when like right now during this time, imagine if you look at it right now, fellas, young men, a plumber right now will make a killing. You know, if you have a trade to where you can, a plumber, a mechanic, you know, things that people need all day, every day, because you can't find a good plumber, you can't find a good mechanic, but you need to pick up a trade, because you never know when this economy, like how they said when America catch a cold, black people catch the flu. Yeah, when America is down, we get hit hard, bad. But guess what? If you have a trade, you can make a way. You can always make a way. So fellas, get out here, young men, pick up a trade, man. Whether it's landscaping or you know, carpentry, electrician, pick up a trade. And I'm not saying don't go to college. That's not what I'm saying. But you need to have a trade, because everybody, it's a small percentage of people who are actually working in their field when they went to college. I will advise men to go get your CDL. Transportation will never ever go nowhere. Transportation will always be here, whether you transporting people, food, services. Get your CDL. Look, 6 weeks, and you can basically. They're gonna always need truck drivers. I promise you. I'm in that field. They always need truck drivers. And I'm not saying don't go to college, but fellas, pick up a trade, man. Because that will help you to be able to go out here and provide, because that's one of the things that women want. They want to feel secure. There's somebody that can provide, and build up your resume. I mean, you can't be 24 years old thinking that you're going to be a millionaire. No, that doesn't happen. You know, you once you get up in your 40s is really when you start understanding. You should start
understanding money, because as a young person, you don't even understand money. You're just thinking all you hearing is term bag, and it's more to making money than bag. In this society we live in, that's all we keep talking about. Which I don't use those terms. I try to stay away from those dumbass terms. You know,
because listen, it's three fellas. It's three people. It's three types of people in this world. It's poor, it's rich, and it's wealthy. You know, you got to figure out which one of you. Poor people are people who are always talking about money. Got to get to the bag. That's poor people. Got to get to the bag. Got to get to the money. Got to get to the money. Rich people talk about the money they could buy things with. They talk about the cars, the houses, and all that. Wealthy people, they talk about ideals. They talk about different things that help, you know, to help pretty much make their life pleasant. That's what wealthy people talk about. So them three things, you got to figure out, where do I fit and where do I fit? Am I poor? Am I rich? Am I wealthy? Right. And most people are not wealthy because they're trying to get to the bag. I had to learn that it took for me to spend and blow a lot of money for me to understand the meaning of, it's not even about money. It's about what you do with your money. Because you can make $40,000 a year.
You can make $100,000 a year, and you still in hella debt.
Yeah, and that's the thing, fellas. Listen, I put it like this: you can make $50,000, because the average man makes about $42,000 a year. You can make $50,000 and be debt free, have great credit, and you can live like you're making $100,000 to $200,000 a year. Right. I've seen it. You can do that. So to go out here and to get, you can have a 6-figure job and be in debt, and it feel like you only making $20,000 a year.
Yeah, I absolutely agree.
That's
But
what
again, what are the other reasons that you can think of why a man fell in a relationship?
Not communicating, not communicating properly with what they mate. And when I say communicate, meaning what's on your mind. You know, we try to, we think a woman should know and assume, but no, you gotta communicate. And I had to learn that. I had to learn that you have to communicate, especially what your role is. You have to communicate on what your role is and where you stand in your household. And I know people get upset when they hear that, you know, a man, you know, I guess they consider put your foot down, but I'm saying you have to communicate and explain what your role is. What this is what I do. This is what I'm supposed to do, and this is how I need you to fall in with what I got going on. But we don't communicate. We assume that a woman who come from a household who didn't see a father figure, who didn't see a married couple, we assume that she's going to understand and know what it is as far as her role or what your role is in the household. But no, you have to communicate. You have to communicate and explain. Well, you have to communicate, you know, what it is that you're doing, what you're trying to do, what you're trying to get accomplished. And let's work on that. Let's push forward towards what, you know, what my goal is, you know, to get us to where we need to be at. Lead.
Right.
You got to lead by example.
Right.
You have to lead.
Yeah, I agree. But also, like you say, you just don't go in. We go in. Most of us go in blind, and like you say, if she don't have an idea of what a relationship consists of, which I mentioned about the male part, but if she don't have it, then she going in blind as well, not knowing the role. She wants it, but she don't know what it consists of. You know what I'm saying? It's like you want a job, but you don't know the requirements to get the job. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Or you get the job, but you don't know what the requirements is. So eventually you're going to get fired because you don't know what the job consists of, you know? And I think that's how it is. It's the lack of knowing the role, the lack of her knowing her role. But since we're talking about men today, the lack of us knowing our role as well.
Yeah.
You know, because a lot of times, like you said, even with the communication part, men, we internalize a lot of stuff. We could be going through a lot, but we don't want to share it because we've been taught that, you know, men that don't supposed to express themselves. You know, you hear all kind of dumb shit that really internalize. You holding that stuff in, it stresses you the fuck out. So you need to communicate and get it out of your system so it can help you move on with your day, because communication is one of the keys to a great relationship. You have to communicate.
Yeah.
You know, and
yeah,
you need to communicate as often as possible. You know, but failing, and I think they fail too, the lack of time. I think a lot of time, and it goes both ways, but since we're talking about men, sometimes we can get complacent. You know, the things we used to do. And then all of a sudden, you know, we're not as excited no more. You know what I'm saying? Because again, men like to be stimulated. So now your girl coming in here with them granny drawers on, you like, man, what the hell is this? You know what I'm saying? When she used to put that Victoria's Secret on. You see what I'm saying? So you don't have that same urge, that same fire that's yearning to burning inside for your sexual desires. So yeah, that's another one. You know, that's another one. So now you losing, and so months of that, years of that, because now she don't realize again her role. She's supposed to help keep this fire burning. You see what I'm saying? It goes, you know, because as long as she keep it burning, she keep his attention, which he, you know, it keep him focused on her. But again, she don't know that because nobody never told her that. You see how that works?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Yeah. It's a lot of things that
it's a lot of, it's layers and layers and layers of it, but we just, you know, named a few.
And to go back just with discipline, as a man, you know, we have to have discipline to not allow things to come in, you know, simple things to come in our relationship, you know,
right.
As far as going out here and being tempted. And it's a small percentage. So when I'm speaking on it, it's a small percentage of men that cheat, 22%. But at the same time, we have to, you have to be disciplined enough to, you know, to what I call penis control, you know, go out here just doing reckless stuff, man. And like I said, it's a small percentage of men that do that. You know, they go out here and you should not even just with you know, women outside of your marriage, even with family, you got to be disciplined enough to run your household how you want it ran, and not allow other things to come into play, you know, to breaking up your relationship or whatever. You got to be disciplined enough with that. And I'm gonna tell you, man, fellas, there's nothing wrong with being masculine. I mean, that is how we are built. That's how we are built. And I have seen, you know, men who want to be that emotional roller coaster, what I call emotions, which we have them in us. But I have seen men, and I'd be like, boy, his relationship is not gonna last long because he's more emotional than a woman. They don't like that, fellas. They don't. They don't. No matter how much they say they want it, they do not like it. They do not like it, man. Right. And you out of order when you are emotional like that.
Right.
You know, I'm not saying expressing how you feel.
Right. You out of order. Right. You also out of order if you're arguing, because if you the head, you don't have to argue.
You don't.
You don't. You just go ahead and get your point across, and that's that.
That is that. And the thing is, because you'll get in a situation where y'all arguing, y'all going back and forth, and she will say something that will push you over the edge. So now you in her court, because they built for the emotions. They built for it. So now you in her court, and she may say something to really push you over that edge, and now y'all mad at each other. You know,
go ahead.
No, I was gonna say I've learned to, you know, say how I feel, she say how she feel. And if it's to the point where we're gonna be upset for 2 days, then yeah, we need to talk about it. But we can agree to disagree. But I'm not gonna sit up here and argue with you and no.
Yeah, I'm beyond that.
I'm because I'm not good at arguing.
I don't have the energy. I don't have the energy for that shit no more. But
I suck at arguing.
Knowing what I know now is you don't even waste your time.
I suck at arguing. I do.
But another thing I want to say, before we bring this thing to a close too, stop listening to others. Mm-hmm. That's another one too. Listening to others, getting bad advice for people who mean you no good, and that goes both ways as well. You know what I mean? But you know, you might have that uncle who, you know, who think he's so cooler than cool. Man, I wouldn't do this, or man, what? You know, that type of stuff. Edging you on and stuff like that. But
and surround yourself around people that's doing better than you. Like that's just the way it goes. If you want to be married, man, and I know everybody's going through some things, but if you want to be married, you know, you got to start being around positive couples. You got to start being around, you know, positive relationships. And I'm not saying perfect. I know that I said positive. I didn't say perfect because it ain't no such thing. But you need to start being around positive relationships. For the most part, most of the men that I'm around, you know, like I said, this is my second marriage. So most of the men I'm around are positive. You know, they are positive men. And we don't talk about things that doesn't build our household and doesn't build our community. Most of the men I'm around, that's all we talk about. We talk about what people consider leveling up, to the point to where, you know, we're talking about 5 years from now, 10 years from now, what we look like 20 years from now, retiring. You know, these are the things that you should be talking. Right. These are the people you should be around. You know, all that watching these television shows and thinking that that's what your life's supposed to be, fellas, it's not going to work. Because once them cameras are off, it's a different scenario. It's a different conversation.
Okay, so we're going to bring this thing to a close. So, for our subscribers, I want to thank you guys. Please continue to help, like, share, subscribe, talk to other people, help them to support this channel. I'm doing a double today, so coming up within the next hour, we got Tailor Made. I got Tailor Made coming in within the next hour. So in closing, Brother Cleve, what you got to say?
Fellas, get on your purpose. You got to understand your purpose. If you out here, it's like you got to be true. You got to be planning. You have to have a map. If you out here not on your purpose, then you basically planning to fail because you don't know where you're going. You don't know where you need to be, where you should be, where you gonna be. Like you have no clue. So get out here on your purpose. Understand what a man should be doing, you know, when he's on his purpose.
Right.
And subscribe, like, share, do all that thing. We appreciate y'all supporting us.
Thank you. Brown Spade.